Everyone knows that smart investments are what makes you rich, but very few know about the key component to investing wisely. So let's just jump right in with the key, but stay to the end for my personal method for making great investments. So first and foremost, the one thing you have to understand is that this is all about stewardship, right? Now, what is stewardship? Stewardship is really about how you take care of your money, take care of everything that you possess. I mean, you can even go spiritual with stewardship, you can go physical with it. The truth is that stewardship is really about how do we make the most of what we have, right? How do we get the best out of it? You know, there's really three different types of philosophies when it comes to money. The first one is the one that you're always told is the right way to go, which is the saver, right? You gotta save, you gotta spend nothing, save everything, save it forever, you know, that kind of thing. You gotta pay off all your debt. The stuff that everybody tells you is conventional financial advice is more from a saver mentality. But understand that savers are in scarcity. Savers still live in fear, not faith. When you live in fear, you can never ever be financially free. Savers can never save enough. They can never pay off their debt fast enough. There's just never enough if you're from that saver mentality. That's why we tend to poo-poo all over guys like Dave Ramsey because of that very reason. They tend to come from a place of fear, of scarcity, and you can never become financially free when you live in a place of fear. And so understand that saver is not the way to go. Now, of course, we all know the spenders who get all the flack online, right? They're the ones that are always told they're irresponsible with money. Well, spenders, that's true. They are also in scarcity. It's never enough. For them, instead of hyper-focusing on the expenses like the savers do, they hyper-focus on the income while ignoring the expenses. It's easy come, easy go. And as a result, they're always hustling, always trying to make the next buck. But if you take the best of the spender and the saver and put it into one person, that's where the steward comes in. Because at least with a saver, the saver is willing to think about their money and figure out what to do. They want to be wise with the money, they just come from a place of fear. While the spender is willing to use money because money is meant to be used. It is meant to be able to beautify and enrich your life as well as the lives of others around you. It's meant to bless the lives of those in this world, right? So everything that you have in between, if you take those two together, you get a steward. A steward wants to make the best of the money. They're willing to use money, but they're willing to use it wisely in a way that multiplies. It edifies other people. It actually makes the world a better place, right? And I'm not gonna sing Michael Jackson when I say, you know, heal the world. You know, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, I just did. But the whole point is this, is that the stewards want to use money in a wise way. That is exactly what I recommend, is be a steward. Stewards come from a place of abundance. Stewards are willing to use money to be able to make more money and use it in a way that helps other people too. It's really just the way that life should be. And so be careful of where your paradigm's coming from. Is it coming from a mindset of the saver or the spender? You want to be the steward. Now this kind of leads me into what is investing, right? As people say like, well, I look at investing as getting my money to make money. And that's not completely wrong. But the truth is investing is so much more. To me, investing is taking anything, right? It's taking not just your money, it's your time and your energy too, and using that to create something greater. That's what investing is to me. It's not just investing your money, it's investing your time and your energy and your money. Think about it. You know, some of you probably went to college. I went to college as well. You don't just invest money into that. You invest your time and energy especially. Some of you started businesses. You might have started from almost nothing when you started your business. You might have bootstrapped it in the sense that you just use your own cash or use very little cash, but you did put time and energy into it. If you have a job, you put only time and energy into it and not money, right? It's not like, you know, when people say it takes money to make money, that's a completely false idea. Because if that were true, that would mean you would go to your potential boss, right? If you're going in for an interview, you'd say, hey boss, I'm willing to pay you $50,000 a year if you pay me $100,000 a year, right? That sounds ridiculous. That's not how it works. It's because you're willing to exchange time and energy, and money is just the byproduct. You're willing to create value so that money comes back. Understand investing is no different. Investing is anything that requires your time, your energy, and or your money to be able to make a better return. That's what it means to invest. When you look at it from that standpoint, you realize that anything and almost everything can become an investment. Even if it's not the traditional, what your financial advisor has told you, because that's what they sell you, which is put your money in the stock market, right? Put it into mutual funds, that's investing. Even real estate, that's investing. That's true, but it's so much more than that. And in fact, some of the best investments you might have in your life may have nothing to do with the stock market or real estate. So understand that. Now, which investments are wise, right? As we'd say this, like what are the wise investments out there? So I believe investments are one, something you can control, two, something that actually has a real asset or something behind it. And then three, like I just mentioned, there's some sort of value creation that happens there. Understand that for money to work, for money to be exchanged, there has to be some sort of value that's being provided. Even in the real estate investing game, understand that you're providing a service. I know that sounds weird because some people think, oh, those dirty, stinking landlords. Like, no, it's not about, I mean, okay, there are some of those slumlords out there, right? But that's not it. Those guys don't get it either. They don't understand that they're trying to be here to create value. They're providing a place for somebody else to live where they don't have to go and buy the property. And right now in today's market, that's actually a great service to provide. If you can provide a property that somebody probably couldn't afford on their own, that's awesome. That's what you want. You want to be able to provide some sort of service. And you don't just give them a place to live that happens to have four walls, maybe three if you're a really bad slumlord. But you're not just providing a place with four walls and maybe a roof, right? You're providing a place for them to live in comfort, a home for whether it's to be them as individuals or for them to raise a family. That's what is really behind that investment. It's not about the cash flow, even though the cash flow is important, right, to some level, but it's not just about the cash flow. It's so much bigger. So I look at investments that are wise or things that actually can be controlled as well. Control means that if something goes wrong, can I do something about it? For example, what can I do in the stock market if the stocks go down? Nothing, right? I can't do anything. I'm helpless. I'm a victim. Remember I said, you can never be free if you live in fear. That's one of the reasons why I think the stock market's not a wise investment, because you're putting your money in, not having any control over the outcome. You can't control if it goes down. You can't all of a sudden make you money. If it goes up, you didn't do anything to make it go up. It went up because it went up. You're really just riding waves. If you're in a kind of investment that rides waves, crypto space, same thing. If you're just riding waves, you are not an investor. You are a gambler simply just riding the waves. You're more of a surfer, I guess you could say. But you're not really an investor. Investors know that they can manipulate the returns. And I say manipulate in a good way, right? You can control the outcome of those returns. If something goes wrong, you can do something about it. In real estate investing, for example, if somebody is not paying you rent, you can do something about that. You can eventually evict them. It doesn't mean that you couldn't lose money. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't get paid for several months potentially. But it does mean I can do something about it to make that money come back. You know, if something happens that goes wrong, heck, even if there's a property that isn't paying me enough cash flow, can I add value in that property? Can I update some things, put some money into it to allow it to be able to pay me more money back? That's awesome. I love those kind of investments. That's what makes it wise. Now, like I promised, what are my methods for investing wisely? Like, what are some of those key questions? I'm gonna give you my top three. There's several that I look at. I'm gonna give you three key questions that I ask myself before I do an investment. Number one is this: other than the rate of return, why would I invest in this? So really the question is, other than making money, why would I do this investment? I will tell you, one of the number one things that gets people caught, because notice I'm not questioning the investment, I'm questioning you as an investor. I'm questioning myself as an investor. I want to know, what are my motives? If it's just about money, about making money and returns, then it's probably not the investment for me. In fact, that's the easiest way to get suckered into any bad deal. That's why people get suckered into Ponzi schemes, because they just go chasing the dollar. But you want to have something deeper behind it. For example, some of the investments I made, like I invested in a fund before. Now this fund lent money to other real estate investors. I love that because I love to be able to give other real estate investors the chance to be able to make money themselves. I like to be able to invest in them and I get a kickback as well. That's a great way to do it. I love investing in real estate because I know I can provide homes for people. I love the fact that I can do things like buy and sell raw land or even oil and gas, because believe it or not, no matter how green you are, oil and gas has a huge place in your life, whether you want it to be or not. Even if you drive electric and you try to be as clean as possible, you're still using those products whenever you buy something with plastic, including your little straws. And even your paper straws will probably end up using oil and gas, right? So that's the thing, is that, it's questioning me as the investor. So that's number one, is other than rate of return, why would I invest in this? Number two, I already mentioned this, is what kind of control do I have over the outcome of this investment? If I don't have much control, I don't want to do it. And then number three is, cash flow, right? Can it pay me regular, stable cash flow? That's a big question I want to know. Is it something that actually is stable for me? Is it predictable? Do I actually know ahead of time what I'm going to be making? Because that makes it so much easier to know whether it's a good investment for me. So those are just 3 key questions that I look at to be able to know if I'm a wise investor. Now, I would love to have you comment below. I mean, if there's some questions that you think you should be asking or a question that worked for you, put those in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions as well and what things have worked for you to make wise investments in your own life. And by the way, guys, if you think this video is great, check out this Make You Rich series that we've just created just for you. Check it out now.